Good morning. My name is Adrian Hayes. I'm the product manager of Hexagon's operator alertness system. Before I get going, welcome to Las Vegas. Welcome to MINExpo 2024. You might have just missed Josh's presentation, our global advisor for the business unit, talking about our overall safety portfolio. I'm going to tell you a little bit more specifically about our operator alertness system. Let's just remember why we're here before we talk about the product. A problem that we're all very passionate about. The operation of mobile equipment continues to be one of, if not the biggest risk to miners, to our people. Josh talked about the importance of our entire portfolio, why we have an entire portfolio focused on this one problem. I'm going to tell you a little bit about operator alertness because fatigue and distraction is a contributing factor in a majority of these incidents. We'll never know exactly how many, 70, 60, 80%. Every single study is somewhere in that range. And we all know what it feels like, right? We've had a long day at work, we're driving home, we're stuck in traffic, or we're up early to get to an early meeting, or it's the long weekend and we're driving 3-4 hours to go to some Airbnb to relax for the weekend, but we are tired behind that wheel. We all know what it's felt like, but not a lot of us have actually seen it, have we? This is a short video of an actual fatigue event at one of our customer sites. You can see this. The operator's eyes are starting to droop. This is a real fatigue event that was caught by our system. What you don't see is the second half of this video, where this operator actually misses that turn because he falls asleep and he starts to veer off of the road. Now, the system caught this event and it woke him back up. And he saw what was happening, he course corrected, he got back on the road. But what would have happened if he didn't have this system? He probably would have woken up, hopefully, and still nothing would have happened. But we wouldn't have even known that that happened unless he went and he reported it or somebody else saw it. All right, so I'm going to ask you a quick question, which is, how often do you think this happens? How often do you think that there is an eye closure or fatigue event on your site or on the typical mining site? Once a day, once a week, a month? Once a quarter? I'm going to answer that question later because I think it's going to surprise you, bigger than you think. I have a different question, though. Does it work? Does the system work? You might be asking yourself that because I asked myself this question maybe about a year ago because I recently joined Hexagon, and I've been working in this space for a number of years. It's something I'm very, very passionate about, and I wanted to know, am I getting behind a product that actually solves this problem? Because that's where I want to be, because I'm passionate about this. Because before I joined Hexagon, I was working at another mining company, developing technology for this problem. Another technology company before that. Before that, I was getting my mining engineering degree. And before that, I was driving a haul truck. This is me over a decade ago. My very first job in mining, a summer internship. I learned an incredible amount that summer. It shocks me even this day how often I think back to that. And I loved it. I had such a good time. Look how proud I am in this photo. Probably a little too proud. But, I was 20, and what 20-year-old guy isn't too proud? I wanted to do such a good job. My first job in mining, the start of my mining career, I wanted to have the fastest cycle times. I wanted to get extra cycles every single day. I always wanted to be the last one off of the truck. And some days I was scared. Actually scared because I was tired behind the wheel. And I didn't know what would happen if I fell asleep. And so I had tools. Not Hexagon's operator alertness system, but I had energy drinks. I had the Sirius XM radio. I would have things to keep me awake, to keep my mind alert. I would eat food. This is where I learned to eat sunflower seeds. Because I would be parked up, getting loaded. I'd take a handful of them. I'd throw them in my mouth. And then I would drive like this as I brought the sunflower seeds from one side to the other so that I wouldn't fall asleep. I was distracting myself to stay awake, trading one risk for another. The unfortunate thing is that in those moments where I felt tired, like you might have heard Josh say, I was well beyond being impacted by fatigue. There's a physiological response in the body that happens once you start to get fatigued, and that feeling is not the first response. The first responses are impaired reaction time, reduced peripheral vision, reduced attention span, poor decision-making, and an increased risk tolerance. This is what our operators are struggling with and why we are here to support them. So does it work? Yes, absolutely. If it didn't, I wouldn't be on this stage. Completely honest with you, because I want to be behind a product that works and solves this problem. So I'm telling you that it works, but how does it actually work? And I could talk to you on stage for about 2, 3, maybe 5 hours, but they've only given me about 12 minutes. So if you want to talk more, I'm going to be over there at the booth all day, but right now I'm going to highlight 3 things. And the first thing that I'm going to highlight is percentage of eye closure, sometimes called per close. This is the actual metric that our algorithm is using to identify potential fatigue events. There's a number of different metrics out there that you can use. There's technologies that look at the brain waves, EEG brain waves, to try to identify fatigue, or eye blink monitors, even the position of your head. There are other technologies out there, but for decades, going back to the automotive industry in the 90s, per close has been shown as the most effective indicator of early fatigue, and that's why we use it. Yes, we also use head position, the yaw, looking up and down, for distraction events, because distraction and fatigue go hand in hand. The other thing is real-time operator support. This is about our operators. And so when the algorithm is detecting these events, how do you help that operator in real time? We have a speaker. The speaker provides that real-time feedback, customizable messages localized to your language, but more importantly is the physical feedback, the haptic feedback, the industrial seat vibrator that we attach to the operator seat. This is not like the vibrator in your phone, in your pocket, a little bzz, right? This is a full-on vibrator. This thing will wake you up, because if somebody is asleep and they need to be woken up immediately, you're not going to go, hey, Adrian, wake up, man. Beep, time to wake up. Right? You're going to grab me by the shoulders, and you are going to shake me awake, and that's what the seat vibrator does. But it doesn't end there. That's the crucial moment, right, where we need to intervene to make sure that something bad doesn't happen. But it's the continuous risk reduction that comes afterwards, because that's a data point, that moment. And we are looking to bring the risk down over time. This system, part of an overall program on site to bring the risk of fatigue and distraction down. So you're provided with all of the insights, the analytics, the data. You own that data, and the product comes with the analytics to understand it. So you can understand the risks and the trends and what you need to do, what sort of controls you can put in place to bring it down. And as the culture evolves on site, so does the product. It's highly configurable. We have customers, our most mature customers, who've had this for 3, 4, 5, even more years than that, who are still making tweaks in the system, making it even more sensitive as they continue to push the threshold and bring that risk down. So, do 14 artificial neural networks running in parallel, on board, on a rugged computer, in real time, without the need for networks, support your operators in preventing these incidents? Yes, absolutely. Yes, it does. But that's not quite the right question. Does it work? Because it's not about our technology, right? This is about your people. So the right question is, does it work to reduce the risk to my people and my operation? That's the real question. I'm going to show you something. I asked you at the start of the presentation, how often do you think these eye closure events happen? How often per quarter? Was your answer 1,375? These are not false positives. These are real events that went to our 24/7 remote monitoring center of trained professionals looking at these and saying, yes, these are fatigue events. These are actual eye closure events. 1,375. And this 53% reduction is very typical of what we see with customers within the first 3 months once they deploy OAS, is a 50 to 70% reduction in eye closure events. This specific customer, when we look at the first 3 months that they had the system deployed, to the same 3-month period exactly 1 year later, 53% reduction. But there's an even bigger success behind these numbers to celebrate. An 80% reduction in severe eye closure events. 338 compared to 68. These are validated moderate or critical eye closure events because we are humans. And at the end of the day, we can't be 100% of the time. We might not have had the best sleep the night before. Maybe we couldn't sleep well because we are stressed because of finances, or we are up late celebrating the success of a child. We can't be perfect. And this isn't about being perfect. This is about helping our operators in their moment of need when they need the support. And that's what we see here, is bringing down that risk, because it's not those first events, those low criticality events that are leading to incidents. That's the early warning sign that something might happen. And when we bring this down, that's why we know that this is successful. And for those remaining 68, that's why we have a whole portfolio. If that were 0, we'd only have one product. Now, I asked you this question: does it work? Is this something I believe in? Now, I get if you don't want to listen to me because I'm the product manager for this product. I get that. I would get it even if you don't want to listen to 20-year-old me that was a truck driver. I would get it if you don't want to look at the data. So I'm going to tell you one last story. I had the privilege of being on site with one of our customers in Australia a few weeks ago. And I had a conversation with some of their truck operators, 3 of them and me. And I said, hey guys, I want this to be the best product. This is for you. Can you please share with me? Tell me about your experiences. How has it gone? What could be better? And they said, yeah, Adrian, this little thing could be better over here, and this could be a little bit better there. And we have this idea, and this thing kind of breaks sometimes. But overall, we really like it. And we like it because it works. And because it works, we trust it. And that trust, that's why I know this product works. Like I said, I could talk about this for hours. I'm very passionate about it, but that's all I have time for today. So thank you so much for listening. Welcome to MINExpo. We have a booth just over here. Have a wonderful time in Las Vegas.